Hi guys, what's up? Welcome to a new Bitcoin video, and today we're gonna talk about some fractals and what's happening right now Bitcoin. Now before we start, I just made a new channel, technical analysis channel, so if you want to learn tech analysis you can join the channel, but more important, I need 1,000 subs on that channel, so if you could do me a favor and go over there and subscribe, that would be nice. The link is down in the description. That said, let's see what's happening here. So we're gonna talk about this, and this being some kind of fractal of another dump. Last big dump that we had that was this volatile up here was all the way down here after the top at around 64,000. So we're gonna go right in here and check that dump. So let's go, I think, on the 1 hourly time frame up here and check the dump. That was on 18th May, the dump. You can see here 18 May, 19 May, whatever it was, and you can see here the similarities between these two dumps. Now they're not exactly the same when you consider both the moves and the time frame, but psychologically they do play the same. You have a big volatile dump on the downside down here, and then you got this small move towards the upside, downside again, something like this happening exactly right. Then you have another bigger one that's does the same thing here, and then we had a small bigger one towards the downside. So far so good, everything looks the same. And then this happens over here, we try to climb up and we get above this level up here. You can see there is very nice lines that goes right over here. We break that towards the upside and we start flagging towards the upside, and unfortunately that's as far as the similarities goes between this fractal and this fractal, because this never actually, I mean, there is some kind of line like this, goes something like this, and you can see here that this dump over here never actually managed to get above this line up here. Never actually managed to get above the line. Over here we try to get above that that line, but it's not the same fractal. Unfortunately, not the same fractal, because this would have to mean 1 2 3 4 5. This is 1 2 3 4 5. It's not the same fractal, but there is another fractal that looks a little bit better, and it's a little bit psychologically the same as this fractal. And this fractal, this stump is also being caused by corona scare. So the fractal that I'm talking about is the corona dump fractal, 2020 corona dump. So let's go to the 2020 corona dump. That was in March around 19 March or something like 20 March 2020. Let's go there and see. Not on this chart, unfortunately. Sorry, I don't know what I'm clicking up here. Let's go daily time frames, and I was on the wrong chart. Let's put this on the 4 hourly time frame. Now 1 hourly time frame up here, and we're gonna go to this chart, and we're gonna go over here to 20 March 2020. So let's see what's happening up here, and there we go. This is the dump. So I don't know if you remember this dump. It went all the way down to 4,000 from some kind of 10,000 levels. This was the 2020 corona dump, and the markets crash and everything. Now this dump looks a little bit the same as what we are having right now. Not exactly the same, but psychologically it does looks the same. So look what happened over here. We can start by watching the very start over here first. So initial dump was this over here went something like this, right down, and then we had up this big dump. Same over here, this big dump, right? But after a big dump came, where is it? After a big dump we had this rally towards the upside and move towards downside. It played a little bit differently up here, but we had this move towards downside, the same thing here. But you can see that the time frame is not exactly the same, but it's still psychologically they are the same. So what happens over here, we have two smaller dumps on the downside. So you have first one, second, third, down here, and then we climb towards the upside. Now there is the same level up here that we are trying to break, just as over here. Same level we're trying to break up here, and you can see here that over here we actually break that level at the exact same time. Down here we go towards the upside. So right now we are in this move towards the upside in this fractal, and if this fractal continues playing out the same, we should continue moving, having some kind of a V-shaped recovery towards the upside eventually, if it of course plays out the same. Now the fractals don't always play out the same for a very long time. They have certain psychological effect in the very start, and they can play out the same way, but you know, eventually they will stop, you know, being correlated and stuff like that. So right now what we are looking for right now is some kind of you know, minor two minor moves towards the upside, and then maybe some kind of, you know, climb towards the upside. So I just thought that this, you know, fractal was a very interesting, you know, how it's playing out. If it does play out like previous Corona dump, because this is also technically a Corona dump, if it plays out the same way as the Corona dump, then we might see some kind of some kind of move toward back towards the upside. Now let's talk about bigger time frames up here. Let me just clean up everything. And on the bigger time frames, this is daily time frame. Right now you can see this recovery that we are having right now. Unfortunately, we are not out of the dump yet. It doesn't matter how, you know, how small time frames you are watching it. You can see these moving averages. This is the 50, 20, 10 moving average. This is 100 moving average. A lot of moving averages are right above us. You know, the good stuff is that we got, you know, some kind of support here at 200 moving average. Daily 200 moving average, very nice. It wasn't actually playing that well up here, but you know, down here it was acting as a resistance, you know, but it's still 200 moving average, very important moving average, so we like that we got support there. So what we are expecting right now, a little bit more move towards the upside to test this 10 and 20 moving average up here. If we can climb above 10 and 20 moving average, that I would say that would be the first indication that we are climbing higher towards the upside. So that's what I'm looking at right now. On the 4-hourly time frame, we are looking good over here. You can see we broke this you know, this you know, sideways motion towards the upside. Right now maybe we're gonna have some kind of, you know, small move towards downside, something like that, get pushed by these moving averages towards the upside, and you know, blast upwards. But you know, we are still not out of this dump. This dump is still continuing, although it is going towards the upside. It is still continuing, and unfortunately not yet done. So when is this dump gonna be done? Well, if we can get above certain levels up here, I think something like you know, I'm not quite sure if it's gonna be like something like 55,000, something like that, or maybe even above 53,000 up here. I would say that 53,000 up here would be nice, but it would be nice to get back where we were up here, and then you can call the dump is finished, because any kind of move towards the upside, it gets rejected. Just, you know, it's just a dead cat bounce. So that cat bounce is not yet done over here, especially on the daily time frame. You can see here that we are going towards the upside. So every time you have a volatile move to the downside, you get bounce towards the upside. Now oftentimes this is a dead cat bounce because it just gets rejected by the moving averages and start continuing towards the downside. But the times that dead cat bounces manage to get above the certain moving averages, it can actually, you know, continue towards the upside. So we're gonna look at that. Now we're gonna go even further down, up in the time frame, and we're gonna talk about big time frames right now. So long-term technical analysis and what is happening here, and why this dump is a little more severe than, for example, this dump down here. Now everybody is correlating this stump with this stump up here, saying this is the same as this one, and it's not actually the same. This stump is actually the same as this stump down here, and I'm gonna explain to you why right now. So you can see now, first thing first, we are still above the 50 moving average on the weekly time frame. You can see here, very nice close above the 50 moving average, which is very good. The second thing that we got support down here, which is also very good, is this line over here. I'm gonna show you this line up here. It's you know, a support line, because we went up here, we went down, created this very nice important line, went down, broke that. So right now technically, if you look at it like this, you know, it's some kind of, you know, just retest of the line, and you know, we just bounce and go to, you know, towards the upside right now. So the fractal that we showed actually yesterday, if you haven't seen the yesterday's videos, Bitcoin video, you might want to check that out. The yesterday's fractal video, you know, like something like this might actually play out. So if you can get nice bounce off of this part over here, you know, that'd be, you know, superbly nice towards the upside. That said, these two dumps are not the same. Unfortunately, they are not the same. So why are they not the same? Well, the first thing you're gonna notice here, that on this dump down here, we did not break the 10 moving average until this candle over here, and only on this candle over here, once we broke it, we came right back up again. So you know, technically this was actually holding a support, and the 20 moving average was never broken at all. Okay, what you're gonna notice here is that over here we broke the 10 moving average, this line 10 moving average. We stayed below 10 moving average, so we didn't just jump right back above the 10 moving average, we stayed below it, and we dumped right now below the 20 moving average down here, which we weren't below 20 moving average. So we are still above the 50, yes, but we are below 10 and 20 moving average on the weekly time frame, which is quite bad. And this stamp down here, it corresponds to this stamp. You can see here we went down here below the 10 moving average, but right back up again like nothing. But on this move down here, this is why it's bad, below 10 and 20 moving average. You can see below 10 and 20 moving average, and we did not bounce right back up again. We continued going towards downside. So right now we did close below 10 and 20 moving average down here. So this candle over here is very important for the bounce, so we need to bounce at least above the 20 moving average this week to have any kind of chance, you know, for any kind of recovery, at least the way I see it. So these two dumps are not the same, they're not the same, and this stamp over here, it more correlates with this stamp down here, and it is a lot more, it looks a lot more severe than what's happened over here. Over here it was a normal pullback, nobody was panicking. This is, you know, full-blown panic mode right now, right? So we are looking for, you know, some kind of climb, but you know, they are not the same dumps. Now, the most bullish stuff, of course, is holding above the support, holding above the 50 moving average. Very, very nice. We are having some kind of bounce right now. How long this will climb towards the upside, it's hard to say. I'm expecting at least something like, maybe something like 53,000, give or take, up here. It would be nice on the daily time frame to get some kind of 53,000 before any kind of, you know, move towards downside, if that's gonna come. On the 4-hour time frame, you can see also the 50 moving average up here is around 53,005 or something like that. So around 53,000. Can we move up to 53,000? Definitely we can. 1 hourly time frame, we are above all the moving averages, you know, and this 200 moving average is around 53,008, so around 53,000, give or take, up here. You know, we can do that, those kind of moves, and it's only then when we are gonna decide whether this is you know, continuing, if this gonna, you know, be some kind of V-shaped recovery, or is this gonna be a dead can bounce that, you know, pushes us down and then breaks on the downside. But I think right now that we have a little bit more room to go towards the upside before we actually decide where to go. So that's what I'm looking at right now. This move also just pretty short term. I think we might pull a little bit back before we get to that 53,000, but you know, how exactly it's gonna you know, play out, it's not that important. Anyway, that's what I got for you guys today. You know, come back tomorrow, same time, same place, and do subscribe to the other channel, guys. Do subscribe to the other channel. Thanks for watching. Now for the best part. Yeah.